This is QTV News and I am Jana Basonko. Coming up, over 100 Gambian Armed Forces personnel have completed a 4-week peacekeeping support training course. A 20-strong Gambian delegation headed by the Minister of Health gets ready to depart for Nairobi for a summit on population and development. The Gambia College has hosted a symposium on the theme, Educating Young Minds for Peace and Sustainable Development. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. Stay with us. 102 military officers on Thursday graduated at the Gambia Armed Forces Training School in Fajara. This follows the soldiers successfully accomplished a 4-week peace support operation and counter improvised explosive device training. Mamjara Acise tells us more.
The officers were trained by personnel of the Gambia Armed Force in collaboration with German UN Mobile Training Team. Conflict prevention and peacekeeping has been one of the main objectives of the UN in Africa. However, conflict remains widespread in many African regions, disrupting the economic potential of millions. Due to this serious constraint affecting many countries, the Gambia Armed Force partnered with German UN Mobile Training Team to train our military personnel on peace support operations. The 4-week training includes improvised explosive device, IED threats, vulnerable checkpoints, temporary checkpoints, counter-ID drills, ambush and counter-ambush, amongst others. Omar B. Bojang, commandant at the Gambia Armed Force Training School, says training is one of the most important aspects in the successful conduct of any military operation. He added that a military must be trained on warfare amongst other issues.
They must learn and train to conduct military operations other than war and be prepared to operate in interagency and multinational environments.
Mark Fechner, team leader of the team, says during the whole training, the motivation, discipline, and the performance of the trainees was outstanding. He urged the soldiers to operate using what they have learned.
I want to remind every one of you, follow my 4 lines of operation for every soldier. Never forget, protect your family, protect your brother in arms, protect your society, and protect your country with pride.
Major General Yakuba Drame, Deputy CDS of the Gambia Armed Force, says the training is organized to have a vibrant, legitimate, and effective and accountable armed force.
Accountable to civil authority, number 1. Number 2, to have an armed forces that is sensitive to the needs and aspirations of its citizenry. Number 3, an armed forces whose actions and behavior are firmly rooted on international humanitarian law and best practices. And last but not the least, an armed forces that can adequately address its international obligations, especially in the context of peace support operations. Hence the importance of this training.
Ms. Brita Saleka, Consular Service Officer at the German Embassy in Dakar, expressed gratitude to the soldiers for a wonderful performance during training. She further talks about the efforts they are making in promoting peace in the Gambia.
With the return to democracy, the Gambia has become an important partner, sharing the same values internationally in politics, and has also become a pillar of stability in the region. Germany is supporting the consolidation of democracy and the rule of law in the Gambia. In the security sector, for instance, we are doing this through cooperation with the police academy, the GID, border management, to name a few.
The soldiers were awarded individual certificates and as well as awards for the most outstanding junior and senior non-commissioned officer. For QTV News, I am Mamjara Acise.
The Gambia is set to participate in the Nairobi, Kenya International Conference on Population and Development. The event will take place from the 13th to the 15th of November 2019. This is my report. The Gambian delegation, a team of 20 headed by the Health Minister Lamin Samate, also comprises religious leaders, youths and government officials from different sectors. The summit will mark the final push to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals within the coming decade. The summit aims to mobilize financial and political support, galvanize partnerships, and reach a consensus on how to implement the ICBD agenda. The UNFPA country representative, Kule Adinye, outlines the motives and relevance of the ICBD 25 summit.
This conference is bringing over 8,000 people coming together from different constituencies in Nairobi, Kenya, to recommit to the ideals of the ICPD program of action, which is the document, and to be able to continue to track the commitment of leadership to raise finances for that, to raise advocacy, and to raise commitment across all levels. So these are the 5 major reasons why this commitment is important, so that we can, for once and for all, end all preventable maternal deaths, end all unmet needs for family planning, and end gender-based violence in our community to achieve sustainable development. That is why it's important.
Kule further explained that the Gambia is trying when it comes to access to birth control mechanisms, maternal mortality, but still has a long way to go. He added that he is proud of the Gambian delegation as it is well organized.
I'm very proud of the Gambian delegation. For the first time since I've been here, this is a very, very well put together delegation. The government of the Gambia has committed to this conference, this summit, to learn, to bring, and to commit. One, the Gambian delegation is led, a high-level delegation led by the Honorable Minister of Health, who is also going to participate in 2 high-level sessions. The Minister of Women's, Children, and Social Welfare is also attending, participating in different sessions. We have key technical people from relevant ministries and departments of government, statistics, health, financing, finance and budget would also be attending, so that they can learn on how to be able to plan, so that Gambia can finance, can implement, and can report on this area.
The Gambia has developed several commitment papers towards the attainment of the ICBD, which the delegation will present at the summit. One of the commitments is better access to birth control, amongst others. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko. The Student Teachers Association of the Gambia College on Thursday organized a symposium on educating the young minds for peace and sustainable development in the Gambia. Aisha Jang attended the event, and this is her report.
Youths are the building blocks of any nation, and as such are required to play an active role in national development, decision-making, as well as in sustaining peace. The symposium by the Student Teachers Association of the Gambia College is aimed at inculcating in participants the importance of peace and stability for sustainable development. The Executive Secretary for Peace Ambassadors de Gambia, Fabakary Kale, speaking on the role of peace in youth building, says there is no way to peace, but peace is the only way. He states the necessities for sustenance of peace.
Number 1, raise the level of nurturing and empowerment. How do you do that? Build new social and economic institutions. I also request that as young people, we should participate or be active in community volunteering and social justice issues.
The Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force, ASP Lamin Yai, speaking on the role of security services in promoting social cohesion and good governance, says in 2018, Gambia witnessed new dynamics in crime and brutality, in which young people between the ages 15 to 24 made up 53% of first-time offenders, mainly convicted for stealing, robbery, housebreaking, assault, and drug-related offenses. He reminds young people of their collective responsibility in community policing and promoting social cohesion.
I have learned that expecting change, and when I say change here, I mean attitudinal change in terms of our own security, because we have to have an attitude towards our own security. We have to be concerned. Promoting social cohesion and good governance should not only be a job for the security services and government, but our collective responsibility starting from the home.
Speaking on the role of politicians to ensure peace and national reconciliation, senior political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia, Dr. Ismaila Cisse, makes reference to the current tension in Gambian politics and the strong influence politicians have on the way people think and operate within a complex society. He, however, reminds the youth that they still remain the most powerful actors.
It takes this generation, our generation, to change the fortunes of this country. We will decide how Gambia will be in 40, 50 years' time. But how can we do it? Through two things: discipline and sacrifice.
Council for the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission, Sagar Jahate, speaks on truth-seeking as a means of healing and national reconciliation. She explains to the students to get them to better understand the goals, functions, key objectives of the TRRC to clear misconceptions. The students actively participated in question and answer sessions, raising concerns about responsibilities of teachers and the fight against tribalism. There were also spoken word performances depicting the corrupt system of politics in the Gambia. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aisha Jan.
We will go with a short commercial break. When we return, we hear about a three-day forum for farmers on climate change, and a Gambia and UK registered charity continues its philanthropic work with a significant and welcome donation to a school. Stay tuned.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. A three-day forum for farmers and other agricultural stakeholders to discuss and map out ways of dealing with climate change has concluded on Thursday. The event was organized by the Department of Agriculture with support from the Federal Republic of Germany. Babukar C has the rest of that.
The project is part of a program targeting 11 countries globally to strengthen technical and institutional capacities and to integrate climate change concerns into national and sectoral plans. The initiative is a Gambia government project implemented jointly by the United Nations Development Programme UNDP and the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, with funding from the Federal Republic of Germany. The FAO country representative, Ms. Moshida Rampadi, in her closing remarks said climate change has affected progress in the country's agricultural sector.
Agriculture is, however, seriously threatened by climate change and climate variability. We have seen over the years that production is becoming increasingly unstable because of recurring floods and droughts. It has become apparent that the majority of the population who are engaged in agriculture and in animal husbandry have to make very tough choices in keeping up with the changes in rangeland and agricultural productivity as a result of climate change.
The participants expressed delight at attending the capacity building program and believe the knowledge gained will help add value to their work as farmers.
Because of this climate change, we have a problem in our beekeeping sector. Most of our bees are migrating to other places where they can have access to flowers, water, and so on. So this is very important for us. If we can have an idea how to combat this climate change, it will contribute a lot to our beekeeping sector, especially, and the farmers also. Because of this climate change, now we can observe this rainfall is very minimal in this country.
This is a very important training for us, and we hope to extend it to our staffs. The importance there is for this climate change that is now something to stay, we all have to look for a new way to address our field work in another way to sustain our hopes and objectives. That is to say that we have to adapt to the changes that are natural, and some are already man-made, but they are here to stay. So we have to look for ways to live with them.
The 11 countries benefiting from the project are expected to develop a roadmap with support from the Global Water Partnership to further advance the national adaptation process of their countries. The main objective of this project is to support vulnerable countries through coordinated and country-driven capacity enhancement to integrate climate change adaptation concerns in the agricultural sector. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Wonder Year Center of Excellence, a UK-registered charity and Gambian-registered NGO, on Thursday donated school furniture and home science equipment to Medina Salam Basic Cycle School in Kombo South. Lamin Dabo was there and he files in this report.
The donation is part of the organization's efforts to support the education sector by elevating the performance of students in schools, especially those in need. The donated items include 50 desks, a printer, and home science equipment to address the school's classroom sitting congestion. The principal of the school, Musa Sise, says the home science equipment will enable the school to meet the West African Examination Council's criteria for students to better prepare for the upcoming grade 9 examination. He went on to shed light on some of the things that Wonder Year Center of Excellence had been providing to the school.
It's through these studies which help us to cover the syllabus. And that these studies normally is being charged instead of the parents paying for that studies. Is why we is paying for these children, and which is a very, very great achievement.
Sisao Toure, the Alcalo of Medina Salam village, thank WISE for their immense contribution to communities and calls for government collaboration for the realization of sustainable development goals.
This is not the first time WISE has given such a donation. Last year, some furniture and lots of other materials were donated. Since the school was handed over to the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, WISE have never relented in their efforts in supporting this school. Almost 90% of the developments that took place in the school were done by WISE. It is worthy to share in both the print and electronic media so that other organizations can emulate them.
Hilary Walker, a member of WISE project, said they are pleased to see the positive impact of the help they are giving the school. She also explains plans to expand the organization's activities to other communities.
It has always been WISE's plan to work outside Medina Salam as well, and I believe that that is now in an action because we are visiting many villages, assessing their schools, assessing their education system and their health, and also we're delivering bikes thanks to Recycle for Africa in the UK. So yes, I think the boundaries of WISE are endless now, and we're very excited about the future.
Lamin Kijera, WISE Country Director, highlights that the items donated will contribute immensely towards the performance of the students in attaining quality education. He further explains other steps taken by his organization towards empowering the community of Medina Salam.
We also want to urge the students and the teachers to take good care of these materials. Also, we want to see the benefits, the impact that it will be making. You know, we want to see the improvement of the school, and that is why we are happy to continue supporting the school.
Wonder Year Center of Excellence provide education, healthcare, and sustainable livelihoods to enable Gambians to make a better future for themselves. For QTV News, I'm in Alaj Fandin Dabo.
St. Peter's Technical Junior and Secondary Schools Peer Health Club on Friday organized a day-long sensitization activity on health. The event is to commemorate the club's annual Health Day. Bintu Koka has more.
The club is one of the most vibrant and active clubs in the school, with a volunteer base within and outside the school. This year, the school's Peer Health Club's activities focus on teenage pregnancy, early marriage, HIV/AIDS, drug abuse, malaria, and FGM. The sensitization is aimed at preparing educators at grassroots level to be health practitioners and to build their capacities to be able to respond to urgent relief care. Paul L.F. Mendy, principal of St. Peter's Technical Junior and Senior Secondary School, gave a brief description of what peer health is about and urged students to interact and learn to acquire knowledge for the future.
The same Boris Devani also contributed towards the upliftment of education in this country.
According to UNICEF, 30% of girls in the Gambia are married before the age of 18 and 9% are married before the age of 15. There are many reasons for early marriage, such as the level of education, poverty, premarital sex, and society's gender norms. Rugiba and Mainyasi, students at St. Peter's, made a presentation on the dangers of early marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Girls who are married are exposed to many sexually transmitted infections.
These infections include HIV and AIDS, gonorrhea, etc.
Marriage and pregnancy can mean the end of her educational career.
It can mean the end of her educational career and set aside her chances of vocation and career and can steal from her fundamental life choices. When I say fundamental life choices, all of you, the students that are here, will bear witness with me that as a student, you have goals to pursue.
After giving the courses, so now we would like to give the solutions to end child marriage. First of all, empower girls working directly with girls to give them the opportunity to build skills and knowledge, understanding and exercise their rights to develop support networks.
Wude Jata, president of the Peer Health Club, says the Peer Health Club engaged in cleaning exercises to give back to society. She urges parents to allow their girl child to be educated and pursue their dreams.
Some of us that you know that we can't abstain from sex, we try to use condom to prevent ourselves from diseases such as HIV and AIDS. And also the FGM. I am begging my mothers and my fathers to please make a stop to it because it is making more harm than good. It happened like last year. There was a girl who was saying that she was forced to get into marriage and she was in her final year. And in that case, we fought with her together and went to the Ministry of Health and Education, and then she was able to free and continue her education career.
Illicit drugs are used in the Gambia, mostly by youths, which can affect their health. In the course of the sensitization, a sketch was performed by the Peer Health Club on the predicament of early marriage.
Is this why I paid your bride price?
My husband, forget about that.
Bintu Koka, QTV News.
Before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. Over 100 Gambian Armed Forces personnel have completed a 4-week peacekeeping support training course. A 20-strong Gambian delegation headed by the Minister of Health gets ready to depart for Nairobi for a summit on population and development. The Gambia College has hosted a symposium on the theme, Educating Young Minds for Peace and Sustainable Development. That is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us same time tomorrow for more news. Thanks for your company.